Oh, opponent's about to get picked apart by this barrier breach. Going after their commander, Felidar Retreat, and Wild Growth, taking them down a notch.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out the Xantcha deck and find out if opponents can stop any of our many combos. Next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Xantcha Sleeper Agent today. And today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared. Let's take a look at this opener. It's got 2 lands, got a high drops. I'm gonna mulligan that. This is almost better. If we get to 4, then we draw cards, and that's cool. It's got ramp. It's better than the last one. It's not amazing. Hope the land count is nice and high. Let's take a peek. It is 37. Opponent's gonna start off with a Wild Growth on their forest. Pretty good turn 1 play. You know, surprised I don't see more Wild Growth. It's a really good card. I really prefer Wild Growth over a Mana Dork. It's just so much more durable. As someone who usually has Blasphemous Act in their deck, I love when I see someone laying down a bunch of Mana Dorks. Wild Growth does not get eaten by Blasphemous Act, so that's the thing. There's our 3rd land. 3 lands is good, can get us to Xantcha. Xantcha can get us to card draw. All sounds like good stuff to me. Let's go ahead and play this Verdant Catacombs. Crack the Verdant Catacombs. See if we can find a tap land since we got nothing to do. Sulphurous Mire. That'd be the Kaldheim Snowland. And we'll pass the turn like that. Verdant Enchantress coming in for opponent. It's going to be an Enchantress deck. There's a Magus of the Wheel. More card draw if we need it. Go ahead, play a Mountain right here. Still nothing to do on 2, so I guess we tap out and pass. And opponent did get themselves a Signet last turn. Here comes Sythis, Harvest's Hand coming into play. That was a lot of S's. You guys don't even know. I'm probably going to have to pull the de-esser out now, which is an audio tool that you use to get rid of all the s. Opponent puts a Cetessan Training on it. Draws a card. Opponent's got 8 cards in hand. No big deal. Here comes a Ravenous Daggertooth for opponent. Has Enrage, gain 2 life. And with that, that'll bring it over to our turn. We draw a Bolas Citadel. Great for cheating mana cost. Let's go ahead, play this Mountain right here, and then we'll go ahead play Xantcha. Mango seems to be doing the best right now, so we will choose him. Anyway, taking a look at our commander, we're playing Xantcha Sleeper Agent. 3 mana 5/5, enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent of your choice. Attacks each combat if able and can't attack its owner or planeswalkers its owner controls. Pay 3, its controller loses 2 life and you draw a card. Any player may activate this ability. So it's sort of an interesting commander in that you can do a lot of attacking with it, and generally 2 players will die really quickly, but the activated ability also means that the player with Xantcha can lose life at an alarming rate because everyone can just pump mana into it to draw cards, and like a lot of times that's the right thing to do. So I don't know, it's a tricky commander. Where it gets weird is when there's only 2 players left, and then us as the Xantcha deck will need to figure out how to actually win the game after that point. So infinite mana combos are cool. Those are a thing that work, you know, if you're into that kind of thing. Opponent gets themselves a Felidar Retreat and then landfalls it and pumps up the team, so they got some damage over there. We may need to think about that Blasphemous Act at some point. And looks like they're going to combat. Gonna send Xantcha over to Delta Fiend. And they take a hit for 6. That is commander. That is our commander. That's a Thornbite Staff. Seems pretty good. Is a part of multiple combos in the format. And with that, that brings back to our turn. There's that land we were looking for. Fantastic. So gonna feel pretty good about getting something into play right here. I don't think we need the cards so much as we need some mana ramp. So we'll get this Hedron Archive into play, and we'll pass a turn like that. So let's take a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up is Zombie Caller, piloting Titania, Protector of Argoth. There's one I haven't seen in a long time. Tends to show up in the 99 of a lot of lands decks now, but I haven't actually seen it in the command zone in a number of years at this point, but they're going to cast their commander right now. When it enters the battlefield, return target land from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, that's a pretty good ability. It's going to be a Myriad Landscape, so getting their own ramp going. Yeah, this deck can do some wild stuff. You start sacrificing lands, and you get a bunch of 5/3s, and it can put bodies onto the table, uses the graveyard, which is an inherently strong thing to do, so just a lot of value that can be generated with Titania. Next up, we've got Mango piloting Sythis, Harvest's Hand, which we started talking about, and this is going to be an Enchantress deck. It's a 2-mana 2/2 that says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. I was talking with someone the other day, and we were discussing whether this just kind of usurps all other Enchantress commanders, at least for green-white, because it's basically the thing you want in the command zone on a 2-mana creature. Like, for years, people have used Karamitra, and Karamitra, totally cool. But from, like, a power level perspective, I think it's hard to just not go with Sythis over Karamitra. Now, obviously, if you like playing Karamitra, then, you know, stay with it. Don't let me change your mind. But in terms of just, like, overall power and efficiency, I think Sythis is just going to be really hard to deal with. Opponent casts a Skyblade's Boon, one that was not on my radar. Enchanted creature has +1/+1 and flying, and you can pay 3, return it to its owner's hand, activated only if it's on the battlefield or in the graveyard. Opponent's going to swing our way for 5. Yeah, no big deal. That's actually kind of cool because it gives you a little bit of reusability. With the Skyblade, which is notoriously a problem with auras. Also, the bounce auras are really good in these Enchantress decks, and you can do some wild stuff that way as well. Also, like heroic decks and things like that. So that's actually a pretty cool card. I haven't looked through the commons and uncommons of Modern Horizons 2 that closely yet, but yeah, this one looks pretty interesting. Definitely not going to go everywhere, but in the right deck, it can do some things. And I would say that Sythis is the right deck. And then finally, we've got Delta Fiend piloting Daryl, Hunter of Walkers, a Walking Dead card. Please don't thumbs down the video. I've seen a little bit of this one right when these cards came out, but it's been a while. They're going to cast their commander right now. It's a 4-mana 4/4. Says, at the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent creates 3 Walker tokens. You tap it to do 2 damage to target creature. Whenever a zombie an opponent controls dies, draw a card. It's an interesting commander. It tends to be a little bit of a value engine, puts some bodies on the board. It does stuff. It's got some cute tricks to it, quite honestly. I remember seeing some interesting interactions with it the last time someone played it, but yeah, we'll probably see more of those today. We see an Enraged Dinosaur in play, which is also reasonable with something like this. So, and Thornbite Staff probably going to be really good with Daryl. So yeah, opponent's got some stuff going. We don't have enough black mana for this Bolas Citadel, so we'll probably want to, let's see, we can't protect that. 5 creatures in play, that's going to be 4 mana. I'm not sold on wanting to do that just yet. I kind of want to make a land drop if possible, so I'm thinking like Arcane Signet, Siphon Mind. This is a discard deck, by the way, and I did tell opponents ahead of time that this is a discard deck because, you know, that's the classy thing to do, but that does allow them to like bring something that's going to be naturally a bit more resilient to discard. So that's also a concern. We do catch some lands right there. Opponents do a little bit of discarding. We're going to play the Smoldering Marsh since it'll come in tapped, and then we'll get this Mind Stone into play. So getting our own ramp going, making sure we keep up with the green decks is a good idea. Siphon Mind, one you don't see as much anymore. Used to be very popular back in the day. Still a very good card. The only problem is if once opponents start getting eliminated, it can lose a lot of value. But early in the game like this, it's fantastic. Oh, opponent's about to get picked apart by this barrier breach. Going after their commander, Felidar Retreat, and Wild Growth. Taking them down a notch. Oh my god, and a Gaia's Blessing, get all the stuff back in. Wow. Titania doing some stuff. There's a Walking Atlas. Yeah, I love Walking Atlas. Let's take a quick peek at this deck. I have not looked through it extensively. I'm probably going to do that right now, as a matter of fact, as I'm narrating through it. So we see a Torment of Hellfire at the top end, always good. Massacre Worm, pretty cool card. World Gorger Dragon, I did see an Animate Dead in here, so we've got the Animate Dead combo. We do need something to do with that mana. Oh, right, Xantcha. Xantcha takes care of that. Cool. So if we World Gorger combo with Xantcha in play, that's a nice little win condition right there. Potentially, if we have like Turgid's Lantern in play, that would also do it too. Infinite mana, Adnaz. Not sure if there's anything else with the Adnaz or if it's just kind of a value play. Ooh, got an opposition agent in here. Super nasty. Opponent gonna recast their Sythis, and they'll draw a card while doing so. Got a Sire of Insanity in this deck, always super nasty. See a pretty good amount of removal. Yeah, got a Tibalt's Trickery in here. Doesn't that do something with this? Or is that just a modern thing? I would say that Rakdos is probably my worst color pair. I'm just not good at building Rakdos decks. I don't play them that often, which is weird because I play a ton of red. Like, I play a lot of red. I used to play a lot of black, but mixing them together, I don't know. It never seems to go as well as I hope it will. Oh, we see Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond combo also. So we'll want to keep that in mind. Anyway, yeah, I think I got a feel on what we're doing with this deck. So we have a couple of combo finishes here, and looks like we have a lot of ways to control the board while also just being able to like use Xantcha for value. So yeah, there's definitely some pop in this deck. Daryl at the beginning of their upkeep does give us 3 Walker tokens, but high likelihood that those will probably not be like valid attacker blockers because they'll probably get shot and they'll probably draw a bunch of cards. So yeah, they're gonna equip the Thornbite Staff. Yep. That's how it starts. Brings it back to our turn. Uh-oh, we just drew a combo. We've apparently also got the Bolus of Citadel Aetherflux Reservoir combo. How much mana do we have? Play this Mystifying Mate. Actually, no, don't play the land yet, because we want to be smart. We can cast the Bolus Citadel. Oh, yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Play this Bolus Citadel. Oh, wait, this doesn't, this won't officially go infinite. Yeah, cast a Treasure Nabber. Why not? There's a swamp. Yeah, because if we hit a land, then the whole thing will stop, and then they'll just see what we're doing, and we'll probably get attacked massively. Opponent has a lot of cards over there, so I'm a little worried. The other 2 are on 3, so that's not like a ton. Question is, do they have artifact removal? Unknown. We'll play the swamp off the top. Oh, that's a Massacre Worm. Does that do anything? Yeah, it kills a couple things. Yeah, when in doubt, play a Massacre Worm. Cast a Massacre Worm. I don't know, maybe we should play the Aetherflux Reservoir. But like if we go Aetherflux, then Tome of Legends, like it's just gonna 2 untap triggers for Daryl and 2 Massacre Worm triggers from creatures dying. Yeah, cast the Tome of Legends. And there's another land, so yeah. We would have gained some life out of that, but then opponents see the combo, and like that's not the best thing. We have some blockers. These ones will probably die. Maybe we want more blockers. So maybe play the Magus right here. You know, I might actually leave this the counter on Tome of Legends just so we can get past the land next turn. I think next turn is going to be the turn to try to slam this Aetherflux Reservoir, assuming opponents don't blow up the Bolus Citadel. Just occurred to me that Daryl can easily shoot the Treasure Nabber. But if they're doing that, that's a zombie that they're not shooting, so that's cool, right? Well, actually, it probably doesn't matter because they shoot it untap. Yeah, okay. Yep, I see what's going on. It did occur to me that this deck is probably a bit too strong for this table. I did not look at it super closely, so I did not realize it has like a couple really good finisher combos in the deck. Opponent's gonna draw a card with the Cryptic Caves, and they get themselves a 5/3 Elemental. Yep. Opponent did shoot our Treasure Nabber at some point. Opponent going on the attack with our Xantcha. Yeah, it's a 7/7 going over that way. If they double block, they would kill it, but looks like opponent's just going to take the damage. Pygmy Kavu enters the battlefield, draw a card for each black creature your opponents control. Yeah, that's a cool card for that deck. Absolutely. That's a Mind Stone. I think we're in the clear. See how far we can get. A Destiny Spinner. Opponents are tapped out. No removal on the Bolus Citadel. That is not where you want to be. What's this thing do? Each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. Interesting. There's the Ancient Tomb. Vampiric Tutor on top, you say? I guess play an Ancient Tomb. Play a Vampiric Tutor. I think we look for Divining Top. There's a Divining Top. Cast a Divining Top. And cast this Aetherflux Reservoir. Yep, 1 scoops. Opponent's going to shoot our zombie. So if they hit... what could they hit? Force of Vigor. Force of Vigor would get them out of this. Opponent gonna keep shooting the zombies? Yep. Opponent appears to have not drawn a Force of Vigor. We've got a land on top. We'll go ahead and play that land. Oh, we've already played a land. Looks like it's Divining Top time. There's some chance that we're not able to kill our opponents right here. It's unlikely, though. Put on top. Actually, don't really want Damnation or Blood on the Snow, quite honestly. Okay, yeah, they just scoop. So even though like it might be tricky to go infinite, you get above 50 and then you just shoot someone. So then it's like impossible for anyone to interact with you. Opponent had stuff. They had a lot of creature interaction, just nothing for artifacts. So taking a look at this Xantcha deck, turns out it's pretty good. It's got a lot of the really good black-red combos in it, as we talked about in the middle. We were able to assemble the Aetherflux Reservoir and Bolus Citadel combo. We ramped pretty well in the game. I like how we ramped. Xantcha has built-in card draw, which is nice. I would say my only real recommendations for the deck, if you can trim down these 3 drops just a little bit, maybe a little bit more to do it 2 mana. I did feel like we were a bit slow to get going, but it's also one of those things where like maybe you only want the deck to be so fast. Like if you're trying to power your decks down a little bit, one of the things you can do is kind of start the game on turn 3 and have a lot of 3 drops, which are good for kind of setting up for a bigger later game as opposed to just going as fast as humanly possible, loading up on like every 1 and 2 drops. So I totally get that. But from a recommendation standpoint, where you can, it doesn't need to be a ton. I'm talking to maybe 2 or 3 cards. If you could cut from the 3 drops and add a couple 2 drops, probably signets and things like that, would definitely help the deck. Your 4 and 5 mana looks good. You could probably cut a 3 drop and add a 6 drop also. Just like if you wanted something that's more value-y, I wouldn't say no to an Inferno Titan or a Grave Titan. Just they do a lot of nice things on the board. You may not need them if you're just going full tilt combo, but they can be nice if people start interacting with your combos. It does seem like there's also a few interactions in the deck that I haven't really even thought about yet. As far as the discard theme, we didn't get so much of the discard, but I guess also on the other hand, Xantcha is a card draw engine, so it's like discard with card draw is like a weird place to be. So something like Sire of Insanity I do like because it's a single card that discards everything, makes it very hard for opponents. Now, obviously, they can pay a lot of mana and life into Xantcha to do stuff, but this thing is a super nasty card. And, you know, one of the things that's always been surprising to me is that people get really bent out of shape about mass land destruction, but mass discard up until very recently doesn't seem to generate the same level of discussion that mass land destruction does. Mass discard is a lot of times probably more effective because it's harder to counter. With something like an Armageddon, if you just play a heroic intervention, you're probably going to win the game, and the player who casts it's probably going to lose the game. So but mass discard, there aren't like great ways around it. You can have some onboard draw effects, which will get you out of it, but still, if you're losing 5, 6, or 7 cards, it's still a big deal. So, yeah, but overall, yeah, the deck's got a lot of powerful cards in it. It played pretty well. Yeah, like I think I said, the only thing, maybe a little bit more to do with 2 mana, maybe about it. Honestly, I would not say no to an Armillary Sphere. I know they're out of fashion, but like, there was a moment in this game where I'm like, oh, are we going to catch the lands we need, or are we going to get stuck? And Armillary Sphere keeps you from getting stuck. So it's something to look at. Obviously, there's a lot of powerful cards in the deck, but it's just one of those things that, like, it's really nice to have somewhere early to mid-game. And it keeps those lands coming and allows you to kind of do all the things you want to do. So I really like that. But anyway, yeah, the deck played really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange. Hey guys, help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipatx.com.